There we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I am back after a nice vacation in Mexico. So, for those of you joining for the first time, my name is Eva Medilek. I'm a certified high performance coach, and I'm also a cultural inclusivity trainer and speaker. And today I thought we would end the new year with this amazing guest, Christie Love. Christie is the owner of Be Seen, Be Loved, and she is an expert in communication in the connection industry. So I see we've got some people on. So just say hi, where you're tuning in from. And if you have a specific question for Christie, I will happily read it to her and see if we can get some answers for you in the few minutes that we're here together. So hello, Teresa. Thanks for joining us. So Christie is an award-winning international public speaker. She's a communication coach. She is a best-selling published author, and she has a podcast and TV show on the Win-Win Women's Global Advancement Network. And she is a leader in her own right. She's got 20 years of public speaking experience, and she really helps support entrepreneurs in their attempt to gain more visibility, credibility, and conversion by just really having more confidence in presenting their expertise and ideas in front of larger audiences. One of the reasons I'm so happy that Christie has agreed to come and speak to us, because a lot of us are celebrating various forms of holidays in this time of year. And that comes with being around more people, maybe being around people that you haven't been able to been with over the last couple of years because of the COVID restrictions. And also, if you're following any of the news in the United States, we've had some really, really rough weather that's made travel challenging and canceled a lot. And what happens is our nerves get frayed, we get stressed out and overwhelmed, and it just breaks down our communication and connection. So welcome, Christie, to the show. Thanks for coming and being able to support all of these wonderful people with your expertise.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone. Wow, look at all these people from all over the world coming in.
All over the world.
Exciting. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, we got Dareen from the Philippines. Onochi. So please forgive me if I mess up your names. I am sorry. Sonia from Chicago. Girl, I know it must be cold there. Diana's from Kenya. Tina from Missouri. She's got it cold. Deborah, hi. Chris is here. Pamela's here from West Virginia. I'm living in California. Where are you tuning in from, Christie?
I am in Texas, so I think it's going to be about 75 degrees today. So absolutely beautiful.
Oh, you're going to be warmer than us here in Northern California. Oh my goodness, Egypt and Afghanistan is in the house. That's awesome. So let's get started, Christie. We've got a few people here joining us.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and just how you started really helping people with their communication and connection.
Oh, absolutely. I love sharing this story. It's also the title of my book, From Stage Fright to Superstar.
Wow.
And because I started out about 20 years ago, I had stage fright. I was working toward climbing the corporate ladder and also starting a business. And when I really put myself out there for the first time to either get promoted or branch out in my business, I couldn't do it because I could not communicate. I had anxiety. I was so fearful. I was so terrified to speak. I remember my business starting, my business plan. I had my branding together, wrote books, I had my website together, told all my friends and family. I was so excited. But then when it was time to actually go out there and market myself, I couldn't do it. And that's when I realized that, boy, in order to advance and be successful in life, I had to not only learn but master the skill called communication. And so I looked at online when Google just started. I looked for some help. I needed help. And so I found a group called Toastmasters International. And that helps people with, to better their communication skills, to be better public speakers. And I knew that they could help me. And the meeting started around 7 o'clock. And I think I got off work at 5. So I said, I'll just, leave work, go to the parking lot, which is on the beach of California, beautiful. And, wait until, the meeting started and I'll just walk on in. Well, I remember that day distinctly. I sat in that car for those 2 hours, screaming, crying, hyperventilating, and
Mhm.
having panic attacks and calling my mother because I was terrified to walk in that door. But if anyone knows me, they know I'm pretty courageous. So I was able to muster enough energy and courage to do it. But all I could do was say, "My name is Christy," and sit down.
So
Back up.
you had, it sounds like you had maybe some crippling stage fright.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So let me find out from the people who are tuning in right now.
Sure.
Is anybody on here? Just put a one in the chat if you kind of had these experiences where you know you need to speak up, you know you need to even stand up for yourself in some ways, and you just are so crippled, if you will, by fear that
Mm.
you can't stand up for yourself. You can't speak your mind, your truth in a bold, courageous way. So put a one in the chat. Christy, I'll let you go ahead and continue with
Well,
your
let me put
story and we'll help you.
a
You're going to put a one in the chat too?
I was definitely one of those people, Doreen.
Doreen, yeah, uh-huh.
Yes. And so yes, I kept going back because I knew I had to learn this skill. My life and my career depended on it. So I kept coming back and coming back, and I got better. With anything, it's just like riding a bike. I got better and better and better. And then soon I started helping and mentoring other people. Long story short, I mentored a guy with his public speaking skills. He had just gotten laid off from his company, and but he wanted to start a business. He wrote a book and wanted to get this book out. I helped him with his communication presentation skills, and within 4 months, he went off to create a multi-million-dollar corporation around speaking.
Around speaking.
Around
Wow, wow, wow. So that's
speaking,
incredible.
coaching, retreats, all around speaking. Yes. And I said, wow, I'm on something there.
Yeah. So why do you think, having these skills of communication, connection, and speaking is important for us in life?
Wow, it's in everything like you were talking about earlier with holidays coming. It helps you to establish those relationships with your family, with friends, at work, with clients. That's a major, major factor because if you are in business, your ability to connect with your clients are vitally, vitally important, and be able to talk to them on a more human to human level. The salesy, salesperson badgering and talking about benefits and features is gone. It's gone now. People want that human to human connection again,
Yeah,
especially when
yeah.
we have the social media and things like that. People want to know more about you.
Yeah, yeah. I had a conversation with my daughter the other day, and the communication went awry. She just, listening. We always think about communication as talking, right?
Mhm.
And, what we have to say, and making sure we get our opinion out there and our point of view, and we feel seen and heard, because a lot of conflict happens when we don't feel that we're being seen, heard, listened to, or even taken seriously in some cases. And I realized that, well, I've realized this for a while, that she doesn't listen.
Mm.
She talks over you. She interrupts. She won't let you say what you need to say. And some of you listening right now might experience that in your families as well, where you have an uncle or a cousin or an aunt or a sibling who just won't listen and let you finish your thought and check in to see if they heard you correctly or really hear what you say. Because most of us listen to react or respond, which takes us out of being fully present with what another person is saying. So, you know, what are some other things that we experience when we don't master all the communication skills that give us better connection with at home and at work and in our communities?
Right. You can lose someone so quickly and this is one of my pet peeves, is people who ramble and ramble, do not take a breath and do not let you talk. And of course, do not listen. But communication goes so far. It's your body language. How's your body language? It's your voice tone. It's your eye contact, right?
Mm,
How do you look at a person? All of those things are vitally, vitally important, especially when you're talking to someone, especially face to face, your presence. when you're speaking to someone, they should feel like they're the only person in this world to you, the most important person
So
at
we
that.
shouldn't do this while somebody's talking to them.
Oh, absolutely not. Phones down. I know how hard it is to put the phones down. When you're at dinner, put the phones away. There are no phones at dinner time. Okay, that's talk and enjoy the
Well,
company.
let me talk into that a little bit, Christy, because I work with a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, and I remember 20, 30 years ago, I worked for a guy, and he was a dentist. I was in a dental office, which you think once you see that last patient and close the door, you go home and that's it. But he was constantly calling me or texting me about something on our idea or whatever business after work. And, a lot of us who were employees or are employees always think we have to be on for the
Mm,
boss because we have that fear of losing our job. So maybe we need to keep our phone near us because our boss hasn't gotten the memo that we stopped work at 5 o'clock. Or if we're a business owner, we're thinking of ideas and we want to send it out and disturb our employees or our team members. I want you to talk a little bit about how we can create win-wins, like being present with our families or with whoever we're speaking to without the distractions and the fear that comes up that we might miss something.
ooh, we talked about this a little bit. It's for me, it's around boundaries, creating boundaries for yourself. Like at 9 o'clock at night, my phone immediately shuts off. Everything shuts off, all communication. Unless, I have my Fab Five, that can certainly get in my family members if it's an emergency. But I turn the phones off. When I used to work, I set that boundary with my boss. I do not work on
Mm.
weekends. I do not answer the phone on weekends. I do not answer the phone after work. That is time for my family. So
And
it's
that's where courage and confidence comes
yeah,
in our communication.
right. It's how you communicate it.
So,
Don't
how can we communicate? I love that example you used with your boss. There are
Mhm.
a lot of people who are afraid of
Mm,
setting boundaries with an employer, if you will. How can we communicate those boundaries and let people know that, I think we're doing it for our own mental and emotional health to create those boundaries and spend time with our families. But for that person who's afraid of what their boss might think, or what if they get mad, or what if someone else gets the promotion, or whatever can be going through our heads, what is something that we can do to give us more confidence in our communication of our boundaries?
I think once you finally have a win on this subject, then you're going to gain confidence. But it all boils down to your worth and your value. Okay. You're hired to do a job for a reason. And within that contract, I'm sure you're given certain hours. Okay. Your boss has to uphold those hours. Okay. That's in the contract. And that's kind of when I go back to if there's an issue. But it's about how I value myself and how I value my time and let them know that, hey, my family time is very important. My health is very important for me. So in order to do the best job for you, then I need that time away from work to really recharge and show up my best each and every single day as I do. And so it's kind of a two-way street. If your
Yeah,
boss sees
yeah.
you're doing the absolute best you can, you're a super overachiever. When you're there, they hopefully, hopefully will understand that your downtime, your personal time is yours.
So I'd love to hear what you all think about that. And if anybody else has that fear or that worry or that concern with setting boundaries in your life about what it might cost you. And I love what you said, Christy, about really highlighting the benefits that your boundaries will afford to everyone in your life,
Mhm.
from your own mental and emotional and physical health to your performance, to
Right.
get, setting you up to get better performance at your job and in your, at work and with your families. Because I had this saying I used to say to my kids when they were little, and they're in their 30s now, but I used to say, if mommy's not happy, nobody's happy.
Absolutely.
So mommy needs time alone without you. One of the benefits of being divorced when they were young, like they got to spend weekends with their dad, and I got to really have that downtime. But when I married my second husband, we had, two teenagers at the time, and we made sure that we made, you know, alone time. And I always make sure that I have alone time even now to recharge and regenerate myself. That's why I just went to Mexico the week before Christmas. So that I have more energy to enjoy, the actual week in between Christmas and New Year's, and just doing a little work here and there. But it's really interesting how, I talk to a lot of people who are terrified to set boundaries that protect their values. Because, in America here, a lot of people are tuning in from other countries, but we don't get a lot of vacation, especially a lot of paid vacation like they do in Europe. They value that more in some other European countries and some other countries around the world. So for those of us in the United States, taking time off is a luxury, not a necessity, in the minds of the work culture here. Whereas in Europe, it's different. So it's interesting for us to really take a look at what we need to perform our best.
Right. If you think about it, I think other countries, some countries get like 6 weeks of vacation. I mean, some companies barely give you 2 weeks. And so that time that you need for yourself is vitally, vitally important. And like I said, I know probably the toughest subject because I've coached a lot of people, especially in leadership in multiple companies, just teach people to step into your power, to own your voice. But it's also how you say it. When you talk to a boss or superior about your boundaries, what we're talking about, your boundaries, you don't want to talk from your head, you want to speak from your heart. And if that
Mm.
person has any type of warmth within them,
Mhm.
they'll feel that and they'll understand. Now if they don't understand, then there's an issue there, and it's probably not some place that you need to be or work anyway. So think about that as well. Where are you really valued as an employee? Are you valued as a human where you work at this moment? So that's important.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for giving all of us some directions and guidelines on how we can communicate more clearly and with confidence, and that will also help us. I find that when people understand us more and we communicate clearly, it does foster deeper connection and understanding, and people get to know us better, and there are definitely benefits to that. So any final words for our audience here?
Well, I am just so happy that everyone showed up. I'm excited. I do want to just give you, I guess, a gift from me. Is my right there. I want you to download my free or complimentary public speaking 5-step framework checklist. I also just want to let you know that I do help a lot of people from all over the world, from different places, with different, um, challenges, I guess you can say, in the communication industry. Okay, so if you need help with your public speaking, whether it's at work or maybe you want to get from behind the scenes of your business and get more visibility, credibility in your company, to get more seen, noticed, and also paid speaking engagements that are out there, then come see me. I'd be more than happy to help you and go over programs that I have to offer. But I just am just happy to be here, and thank you so much, Eva, for just inviting me and
Of
sharing,
course, of course.
able to give some valuable information to everyone. Uh, some tips I can give you to leave with is to learn this gift, this talent of public speaking. Don't take it for granted, because again, it's going to be required in every aspect of your life, both social and in business or in your career. Okay. And next is to practice. We're all not perfect at the beginning, and so it just takes a little practice and guidance. But being aware where you are now and having a vision and goals is the perfect time to create goals of where you want to be next year, and how being a better communicator can help with that. um, Write that down, write down that vision, write down your plan, and either join a Toastmasters organization, international organization, they're all over the world. That's the first step. But if you're really wanting to catapult your public speaking skills and really take your company, your business to the next level, your life to the next level, then make sure that you connect with me.
Did you see what Deborah said?
Trust the process.
I love what Deborah said a little bit earlier. Self-confidence is a superpower. Once you start to believe in yourself, magic starts happening.
Thank you.
Amen, Deborah. Totally agree with that. Well, thank you for joining us and for helping us end our new year, our old year, and start to bring in the new with newfound connection, communication, and confidence skills so that we can make 2023 our best year yet. So thanks everyone for joining. I will see you next week. Bye.